The Buffalo Bills beat down by the Houston Texans. Welcome to Buffalo Against the World.
This is Buffalo Against the World Sports Talk with Kulu and
Cousin Brad.
Bills Mafia. It's our time.
Act like you know, baby.
Act like you know.
Welcome in another edition of Buffalo Against the World, and it is not a victory for the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills get crushed, killed, and destroyed by the Houston Texans, and it doesn't look like it based on the score, but it definitely was that. The Houston Texans, the number one defense in the NFL, and they sure looked like it on Thursday Night Football. I mean, the NFL has to do something about this Thursday Night Football stuff because it's really injuries are starting to pile up. But the Buffalo Bills were in it. They had a chance to win this game, guys. Here we go again. Josh Allen. Does he have enough? What do you guys think? Drop comments below. I don't know. I'm seeing this week in and week out. And, it just doesn't look like this team is Super Bowl ready. I'm getting right into it today. We got some news. Possibly being designated to the IR is going to be Terrell Bernard and Spencer Brown, which really hurts. Spencer Brown's been great all season. He had a rough one last night against Will Anderson. I mean, Will Anderson is a savage, man. Third-year guy, defensive end. He's right on the cuffs. He's been training with Micah Parsons and also training with Myles Garrett, and it looked like it. I mean, this man was a man possessed yesterday. He was just going after Josh Allen with a vengeance. And DeMeco Ryan, he had, what they're going to have to do to beat the Bills is they're going to have to hunt the buffalo like a pack of wolves. And they sure did that. They sure did that against this Buffalo Bill offense who just looked pathetic. Once again, here we go having the same conversation, Bills fans. We're having the same conversation about the same tactics that are used to beat the Buffalo Bills. Rush 5, play man coverage, stop the run, and you beat the Buffalo Bills. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing this year in, year out, game in, game out. We saw Josh Allen's frustration. He finally came out and said it. But just a telltale of this game. Superman meets Doomsday. 8 sacks in this game. Will Anderson had 2.5. He was hit 16 times in this game. How do you expect to have this guy by the end of the season? And it was scary seeing Josh Allen kicking his feet on the ground like that. I thought the season was over. I was so scared. So scared. But this is what happens when Superman meets Doomsday. Special teams, they stepped up. They stepped up big. Turnovers was a problem in this game again. Offensive line just could not keep up. Another problem. Defense still can't tackle. Let's look at some statistics, guys. On the statistical side, Josh Allen had 24 for 34, 253, 2 interceptions. Not good enough. James Cook, 17 for 116. Marks had 16 for 74. Nico Collins had 3 for 55. Davis Mills had 16 for 30, 2 touchdowns. And that really was the difference. Khalil Shakir had 8 for 110. Still continued to be the Bills' best receiver. Ty Johnson right behind him with 3 for 45. And Jackson Hall's 2 for 26. Cole Bishop leads the team with 6 tackles. Teron Johnson right behind him. And Buffalo did not touch Davis Mills at all. He didn't sniff this guy. Okay? Buffalo Bills have officially lost to, Michael Penix, Davis Mills, and they've lost to Tua Tagovailoa. So we're seeing this over and over that the Buffalo Bills, it's the same exact formula. The defenses, it's a copycat NFL. You know, people who play Madden can figure this out better than Joe Brady at this point. People who play Madden can figure this out better than Joe Brady at this point. And my real question to all our Bills fans is, what is Joe Brady doing? Let me show you what he's doing. This meme came out today. I had to laugh. I shared with our social media guy, Jay Reezy. This is Joe Brady right here. This is Joe Brady. Drop comments below if you agree. Run up the middle, wide receiver screen. Oh, and we should include since receivers who ran a 4-6 deep every play. I'm sorry. Joe Brady. Please don't get comfortable, sir. And at the position that we're at right now, the fire needs to be on him. And I'm saying this to Sean McDermott. Fans are no longer trusting the process, my friend. The fans are no longer trusting your process. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott. And it's about time. Because accountability is necessary when it comes to being an NFL coach. Because this is what he's doing here. He's doing the same plays that's not working. And he keeps trying it over and over and over and over again. Brandon Beane told us a few weeks ago, and I called him out on it. What's up, Joey? I called him out on it. I said, look, man, you said this roster, you believe in this 53. Come on, man. Stop playing with us, man. Anybody can see. NFL analysts are saying the same thing. Okay? They're saying Josh needs help. They're saying it. And what do you keep telling us? That this roster is good enough to win a Super Bowl? Man, please. Please stop lying. You know, the walkthrough that led into this game here, a lot of fans weren't happy about that. Walking through in practice, you know, we talked about what happened in the preseason when guys like Keon Coleman were being sat and not allowed to play. You're a second-year player, and you're treating Keon Coleman like he's a superstar in this league. And then what happened? It backfired. He has no discipline, and he's been a healthy scratch the past 2 weeks. He's just one of the results. Everybody else we're seeing in this team, they're small. They're not big enough. They're getting pushed around like a bunch of rag dolls. We're seeing it. This team, strength and conditioning coach, was fired last year. I wonder what's going to happen to this one this year, because this is abysmal, man. Guys are dropping like flies. Key players, mind you. Now you have your captain, Terrell Bernard, who may be possibly out for the remainder of the season. Hopefully we'll see him back in return. Spencer Brown, one of your anchors on your offensive line. Here we go again. And this is why I've had an issue 2 weeks ago, and fans were all over me. They were all over me saying, Kulu, you're being too negative. I said, no, I'm a realistic Bills fan. But I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a bunch of softies, man. I'm looking at a bunch of softies out here. Josh Allen, when he came to Mitchell Trubisky and he said, what are we doing? That's exactly what Stephon Diggs was doing when he was doing like this 2 years ago. He was saying, Josh, what are we doing, bro? You're the only one who can call this coaching staff out. You're the only one who can do that. But are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? And Josh Allen's kind of played choir boy this whole time. But now he's seeing that this coaching staff is not putting him in the predicament to win. And the other teams, these younger teams, the DeMeco Ryans of the leagues, the Mike Vrabels of the league in the AFC, they're catching up. While we should be light years ahead, while we should be 5 years ahead of these teams, we're regressing. Earlier this year, Brandon Beane went at, I believe it was Sal Capaccio or one of the guys on WGR. Maybe it wasn't Sal Capaccio. It was one of those other guys. And he was calling him out. Brandon Beane was calling him out. He was literally like, you guys are talking about a receiver? A receiver? Didn't you guys just see what we did last year? I'm like, this dude is arrogant. And it's also coming around the league that teams don't even want to do business with him because he only wants to do things that benefit the Buffalo Bills and not the other team. You're going to have to give something up if you really want to win. And that came into this trade deadline when we had opportunities to get some guys, but Brandon Beane was unwilling to give up a 2026 first round pick and offered only a 2027 first round pick. And that's the very same guy that you was supposed to get, Jaden Waddle, came back and scored a touchdown on you. You see what happens when you don't do what's necessary to win now. You are not in the process of trying to build a team. You're trying to sustain a team. You have paid a lot of players that are not producing. Gregory Rousseau, not producing. Players that are producing, James Cook continues to produce. Khalil Shakir continues to produce. And of course, Josh Allen's producing. But that's where it stops. That's where it stops. When are we as Bills fans going to get tired of the product that's being put on the field with our future Hall of Fame quarterback? Haven't we learned? I posted this on my Facebook. Haven't we learned from Jack Eichel? Buffalo, are y'all listening to me? Haven't we learned from Jack Eichel? Jack Eichel signed that big deal. Do y'all remember that? Bills fans, do you remember when Jack Eichel signed that big contract, lifetime contract? Do you remember that? And a year later, because of disputes with the injury and surgery and all this other stuff, they undervalued him. They didn't believe he can come back from this sciatic nerve injury, whatever the case may have been. And guess what happened? He came back, went to Vegas, won the championship outside of Buffalo the very next season. You're in danger of this happening with Josh Allen. Do you get it? You're in danger, Terry Pagula, of losing one of the greatest players of this generation. The media has been raving about how great Josh Allen is because they see that this is the best player in football. But we don't know what we have and we aren't valuing it. And when you don't value it, that player starts to look at the front door. And he starts thinking about his career. He's got a wife in Hollywood. What do you think? What do you think is going to eventually happen? What do you think wifey's going to eventually start saying, hey, honey, I know you love this Buffalo thing and they love you in Buffalo. And I've been saying it for the last, Joey, and you can attest to this, my bro. I've been saying this for the last however long. Josh Allen right now is where LeBron James was his first 7 years in Cleveland. The team loved him as a winner, as a superstar, taking him over the hump, but he realized, I can't do this by myself. And then he does that historic thing where I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Listen, man, only so long that players are going to allow themselves to be given product that can't get the job done before they start lashing out. And you saw it yesterday. But again, we've been seeing these things brewing, and now Josh Allen is even questioning the play calling. But that play call, that 4th and 1, what are we doing? We ran right into the mouth of the defense. Why is the ball not in my hand? These are the things that we've been seeing. Okay. So Josh Allen being disgruntled, Joe Brady calling these vanilla plays. He has no knowledge of his personnel. K YP. Know your personnel. Something Joe Brady does not understand. This is Joe Brady right here. He has no knowledge of his personnel. No knowledge. He has no knowledge of his personnel, guys. Okay, let's talk about it. Khalil Shakir. They keep trying to force Khalil Shakir into the screen game. Khalil Shakir is a great slot receiver. He can pretty much do it all. Okay, don't make him one-dimensional. We talked about this a few weeks ago. James Cook, when he's going, keep him going. All right. You got to keep feeding him the ball. You got to keep a balanced attack. But once we start playing from behind, now we become a one-dimensional football team. But here's where Brady is not creative enough. Why not line up James Cook in the slot? Why not line up Ty Johnson in the slot? These guys can be running back / receivers when you need them because Kincaid's not there. You need your threats out there, right? You need your threats out there. Why aren't you using Ray Davis in the backfield too? You see what he can do in the return game. The guy's got breakaway speed. He's probably your most physical guy. Why weren't you adjusting your offensive line? Why weren't you putting a tight end on that end to help out Spencer Brown when he was clearly injured? Why weren't you chipping out of the backfield? I mean, this is common sense things. If you understand football and you see your guy hurting, why leave him out there to get demolished like they did? Manhandled. I mean, if I got manhandled like that, I mean, I'm going to the gym the next day and I'm getting in the weight room, bro. Like, that's just disrespectful what they did. They just came out, punched us right in the mouth. And we just said, oh, okay, you're bigger than me. I just got to back down. Let me get through this game and let me go home. Just get in the ice bath. Suckers, man. That's suckers play. That's not big boy football. That's not Buffalo Bill football. Not accepting that. Not accepting that. Josh Allen sets the tone for this team. And yes, he made some mistakes yesterday. Yes, he did. But when you're getting sacked 8 times, hit 16 times in a game, yeah, you're going to make some pretty bad mistakes eventually. One thing I do got to say, that last pass interference call really was ridiculous. That last pass interference call, somebody help me. I watched the play over and over on all 22. I did not see any pass interference from any wide receiver. All right. Mind you, Josh Allen threw the ball in the wrong place anyway, so it would have been picked off anyway. So it's really nothing that can be said for that. That's just is what it is. So even if we don't get a pass interference, Josh didn't throw it to Dawson Knox, who was wide open in the flats, and, you know, it's intercepted anyway. So one way or the other, we were losing that game. That call didn't matter that much. Now, what I thought happened was that they were calling interference on them, but they didn't do that. So now if it would have been interference on them, that would have changed the dynamic of the game. It didn't. Okay, so those big mistakes by Josh Allen, the first interception, he threw the ball into triple coverage. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? And they scored on that drive. We're losing to a backup quarterback. Dude. All right. Some things to take away from this game. Thursday night football games are always going to be challenging. They're always going to be challenging because you literally got 3 or 4 days to prepare. And you're flying out, you know, especially when you're the away team. The advantage that Houston had is that Houston was at home. They were at home. They were practicing. Buffalo literally had 3-day turnaround. So that may have a lot to do with why this team played so bad. That's a fact, Joey. As I mentioned earlier, that Spencer Brown and Bernard could be IR candidates. Man, we've lost so many. Maxwell Harrison also went out with a possible concussion or neck injury. Look out. Man, this team is taking a lot injuries. Really going to have to look at the strength and the condition and position. I can also tell you that we continue to deal with issues stopping the run. Can't seem to do it. Cannot seem to do it. All right, drop comments below, guys. Here's a question. You know, a lot of fans were on Joe Brady yesterday. I was on him. But if you're Joe Brady's boss, you also have to have some accountability in this. You also have to have some accountability in this, right? Because if you're empowering him 4th and 2 to do a standard run play, right, and not put the ball in your best player's hand at that time, I could live with Josh Allen getting stopped. But that 4th and 1, we usually get that when we do the snowplow. I don't understand what they were thinking, but you know, here we go again. Bonehead play calling. Anybody who's good at Madden can call these plays, man. Come on. Like, what are we doing? Yesterday, numbers that came out for the season right now, but numbers specifically for yesterday. On 3rd downs, Josh Allen has been sacked this year 15% of the time. Last year was 4%. So on 3rd downs this season, Josh Allen has been sacked 15% of the time. He's dropping back. This is your billion-dollar quarterback, right? You don't care about him, man. You don't care about him. You don't put guys in the backfield, Jackson Halls, who's a really good blocking tight end. You don't put him in the backfield. You don't help him be an anchor on that right side to help out Spencer Brown. You're not helping out Deion Dawkins in no way. What are we doing? Josh Allen asked the question, what are we doing? And no one knows. So fans, drop comments below. Is the McBean era coming to an end in tragic fashion? It sure looks like it. It sure looks like it. We're talking about drafts, draft busts, 1st round picks that are not playing. We're talking about possible trades that should have happened that didn't happen. We're seeing other teams pull off trades that Brandon Beane didn't even make a call towards. What are we talking about? Are we still just going to focus on the positives that he's done and not look at the negatives? Right here. Even Tim Settle had a good game. He was terrible. We traded for this guy. He was terrible in Buffalo. Is it scheme? We've got to start questioning these things. Now, again, I took a lot of flack for this. Kulu, you're being negative. No, when we're being positive, when we're playing our game, when we're winning our 111s, I'm all about that. But I ain't got no loyalty but anybody but 17 right now. Because that's the guy I see giving his heart out on the field every single day. I don't got no loyalty to nobody else. Nobody else. There's a couple other guys that I love, like the offensive line. They played pretty well most of the season. Was good, Granddad. Was good, Grandeasy. You know, but this game, they didn't get any help. They didn't get any help from their coaching staff. And if I'm Terry Pagula, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, I'm paying this guy $500 million. I'm building a new stadium for Josh Allen so the fans can get the best experience watching Josh Allen. Because Buffalo has become an attractive place to play because of Josh Allen. But your silly coach and your stupid general manager will not do everything they can to protect him. Something's got to change, man. After you saw Josh Allen that first play on the ground, kicking his feet on the ground, and you didn't tell yourself, I got to do something different. You didn't get into Joe Brady's headset and said, you better start chipping, bro. Now I got to question you, Sean, your leadership. Thank you for coming in. Like my bro said, thank you for coming in and changing the culture. Thank you. Thank you. Doug Collins did that. Right? Alex Smith started to help change the culture. Mark Jackson started to help change the culture for the Golden State Warriors, but he was not the one to take them over the mountaintop. Right? He wasn't the one. Moses delivered them out of Egypt, but he was not the one to take them to the promised land. You see, sometimes our loyalty is to people that are not who should have our loyalty to. Okay, we got to see the big picture here. You got a once in a generation player. You got the best player in football, and you're not doing everything you can to make him better, and you're not doing everything you can to protect him. You know, I can't say this, Joey. I can't say, yeah, you say small market team, we don't have the money. Maybe we shouldn't, have gave you a contract. I'm not going to agree with that, bro, because what we're paying on, just look at what we're paying out in our salary. We're paying some big contracts, bro. We're giving out some big, bulky contracts. And I think this defense was the highest paid defense in the NFL. It's bad news, man. You got the Patriots. They're coming in with, they're going to have a lot of cap space next year. And they are already, passing us right now. So we're seeing these things happen. Something's got to change. Again, one of the takes that we do need to address here. We need to understand that Thursday night is a tough turnaround. It's something I think the NFL should just get rid of. But I know it's a money grab, whatever the case may be. But it's really hurting the NFL. And if you look at most of these Thursday night games, it's a lot of injuries. It's a lot of injuries. And it's also low scoring games. Because the lack of being able to prepare for that game. All right. So it's very tough on Thursday night football, especially when you just played on Sunday. Now, let's just say the week before you played on a Monday night and then you're going to play next week on a Thursday night. Okay. Now that would be better. Okay. But when you're going from Sunday to Thursday, that's very tough. Very tough. And then you got to fly to the other city. It's not a recipe for success. And I think the NFL really needs to look at that and really needs to evaluate, how it is what it is. Yeah. All right. So that will take us to our next segment, which is going to be our winner segment. We'll be right back.
It's us against the world. It's us against Buffalo against the world. It's us against.
All right, Bills fans. Josh Allen called it out. He said, "What are we doing?" All right. Josh Allen clearly is very frustrated with this coaching staff. Is this a win for a sin for Buffalo? Drop comments below that Josh Allen is finally calling out his coaching staff. When he says, "What are we doing?" he's clearly saying after that 4th and 1, why are we running that play? He's clearly saying that. Okay. Is it a win or a sin that Josh Allen has finally gotten to the point in his career where he's calling out coaching? I think it's an absolute win. It's an absolute win because now they know. Now, drop comments below if you think this is a win that Josh Allen is finally calling out the coaching staff. I think it's an absolute win. About time, bro. Josh Allen, you've been a choir boy a little bit too long, man. Nice guys sometimes finish last. This is not a race for a woman's heart. This is a race for the man's trophy, the Super Bowl, the Lombardi trophy. This is not it, bro. This is not always blaming yourself. I love it. But sometimes you got to say, look at what I got. Look at what I got. Guys that quit on me. Guys that's just going to let guys tee off on me. Guys that's not going to run the routes to their best of ability. Guys upstairs in the box that's not giving me plays that I can shine in. And clearly, we saw it last week against the Bucs. Josh Allen bought so much time for himself to give him those passes that he threw to Shavers. What happened to Shavers yesterday? What happened? He had no targets yesterday. It's like guys do good, they don't play them. Guys that don't deserve playing time, they play them. What are y'all seeing that we don't see? It just makes no sense. I'm glad that Josh Allen's finally calling it out. Stephon Diggs did it. He got annexed and got kicked off the team. I mean, some of his antics was a little out of control. But the thing is, I look at it as a mirror thing. When Josh Allen had his head down 2 years ago after that Chiefs loss, and, you know, Diggs was like, yo, bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? It looked like Josh said the same thing yesterday. I mean, what do y'all think, man? Is this good for the Buffalo Bills that Josh Allen is calling out the coaching staff? Drop comments below. Just put win or sin. If you think it's a sin that Josh Allen is doing that, you know, that's your choice. But I think it's an absolute win. It's only going to make us better when your leader starts getting a little bit more fiery and then starts expressing his frustration for what his coach is doing. Look, I've been saying it for years. This is not the guy that's going to get us to the Super Bowl. McDermott will tell you right in your face, and Bean will be right hand in hand with him saying, hey, this is the best roster, or I believe in this 53, or I did, you know. You said it, bro. You said it. So he said, sometimes I don't even think they take care of Josh, to care about Josh, because if they did, they would have closed the stadium and gave him better opportunities. Maybe, bro. This stuff right here, it's out of hand and it's becoming a real problem. All right, that'll lead us to our hater.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
Keep the hate coming. Keep the hate coming. Buffalo Against the World show.
Turn me up some more so my haters can hear.
Oh, this guy right here, hater of the week. Bro, you looked absolutely ridiculous yesterday, Joe Brady. This is our Bills Mafia, Buffalo Against the World, hater of the week. Joe Brady with your predictable vanilla play calling. Yeah. Joey said it again. Diggs was right. And because he was trying to get us to put our best effort forward, and when Diggs was not the yes man to McDermott, they expired his contract. And that's what McDermott does. He did the same thing with Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll left, though. He gracefully left for a better position. But they were butting heads. And this is exactly why when Bills fans a few weeks ago after Daboll got fired in New York, people were saying, Buffalo, bring Daboll back. McDermott said, not a chance. You know why he said that? You want to know? Because McDermott understands that he could be looking at his potential replacement. And he ain't no fool. He's not a fool. If he brings back Daboll and this season goes down, and Daboll, he possibly will accuse Daboll of sabotaging the season or something like that, Daboll would be next in line to get the offer to get the head coaching position. And there's no way. Leslie Frazier was another one. He was another one who said, I'm out of here, man. I'm gone. I'm not going to be taking the blame for what this guy's doing. for that 13 seconds. I didn't call that call. But because I'm the defensive coordinator, it makes it look like I made that call. I didn't call that call. McDermott took over and made that call. Right? But see, these are the things that happen in this organization. Stuff gets covered up. Joe Brady, here we go again. And we can see it's bigger than the coordinators, because the coordinator has a job. Once you see something going wrong, head coach, you're supposed to say, get on that headset and call Brady. We need to do this. We need to adjust this. We need to adjust that. Now, one of the positives from this game, we got to give credit where credit is due, is second half points weren't really a factor for Houston. So second half, Buffalo continues to do well defensively, better in the second half. And they gave the offense opportunities, and the offense just couldn't keep up. You know, again, if you want to win, you got to get the best guys out there. You got to. And, you know, I know a lot of people have been talking about Odell Beckham Jr. I don't know about that. I don't know what type of shape he's in to try to bring him in. But at this point, why not? At this point, why not? I mean, what else do we got out there? We got guys that's running all game and nobody runs open. You know, and Josh has gotten to the point where if I don't trust you, I'm not even going to look your way. Knox was wide open that last play. Josh Allen does not trust Dawson Knox anymore. He doesn't. That's why his eyes are locked on Khalil Shakir when Khalil Shakir's out there. So that's just what it is. And that comes from the trauma all of these years. You know, it's unfortunate. It's crazy. It's unfortunate. But it's time for Buffalo to open up their eyes. Here's some positives going forward. We got Pittsburgh coming up. We got 10 days. 10 days. We got some recovery time. Hopefully we can get some guys back healthy. Hopefully Maxwell Harrison will be okay. And, you know, Bean's got some opportunities to look at some guys on the waiver wire, see what he can pull off and bring into this debacle right now to help right this ship, so to speak. So he's got time to do that. McDermott, you really need to take a look in the mirror because your job is not safe. Too many fans are calling you out. Too many media personnel are calling you out. Too many people are saying Josh cannot do this by himself. And at this point, if you're not going to be creative enough to create plays for your running backs to catch the ball out of the backfield, who are also dynamic players, I said it 3 weeks ago. Kincaid, Cook, Shakir. Kincaid, Cook, Shakir. That's your offensive playmakers. Everybody else, if they just happen to be wide open, they get the rock. That's it. Kincaid wasn't there. So now you got Cook. Now you need to slot in Ty Johnson. He's a playmaker. Possibly need to get Ray Davis in the backfield. I don't know why we've neglected to put Ray Davis in the backfield. I don't know if they're seeing something from him in practice that they just don't like. But he's our best blocking running back. He's our best blocking running back. So when you need those chips and then you need Reggie Gilliam, he's another good blocking fullback back. Put him back there. Put your tight end Jackson Halls back there. There's so many things you can do. Again, KYP. Know your personnel. Know who does what. Even Keon Coleman. Even Keon Coleman could be used in the right way. He's really good with jump balls. Could have used that yesterday, right? He's really good with jump balls. Gabe Davis is really good with jump balls, right? He's not a guy that's going to beat you. He's not going to get separation like that. But if you utilize him in the slot as a mini tight end, he can do a lot better. He can beat a linebacker. If you put him in the slot, Keon Coleman can beat a linebacker, right? That's all I'm saying. Be smart. Play smart football. Like, How do us fans and how do us commentators and media personnel know more than our coaches? It makes no sense. How do Madden players know more than our coaches? It baffles me. It baffles me. All right. How to get the dub next week. It's a copycat league. Same thing that DeMeco Ryans defense did. Same thing that the Miami Dolphins did. Same thing that the Patriots did. Same thing that the Falcons did. What they're going to do is they're going to rush 5. They're going to blitz often. They're going to try to stop the run. And they're going to try to spy on Josh Allen. That's going to be their defensive strategy. And they're going to play man coverage and they're going to tell one of your wide receivers to beat them. That's going to be the formula. Same thing every week. You should know what you're facing by now. Are you preparing for it? Are you getting better at it? No, you're not. What happens is Josh Allen has to be Superman for you to win a football game. Just like when he had that 6 touchdown game against the Bucks. He had to go Superman mode for us to win a football game. Come on now. Come on now. So we got to stay 2-dimensional. You got to run the ball. You got to pass the ball. And stop looking for the big play every play. When Josh Allen takes these deep drops, he's looking to make a big play. It's not always going to be there. It's not always going to be there. Take the dump off. Take what the defense gives you. Throw the ball to James Cook. Throw the ball to Ty Johnson. Get Ray Davis in the backfield. Go 2 running back sets from sometimes. Play to your players' strength. Know your personnel. Very simple. And take it that simple. Josh Allen is eventually going to do something superb because that's just what he does. But you got to build the other guy's confidence. Let me show you guys something real quick. All right, so just hear these out. Khalil Shakir had 8 catches. Ty Johnson 3. Jackson Hawes 2. Gabe Davis 1. Josh Palmer 2. Dawson Knox 3. James Cook 3. That's not nearly enough touches for James Cook in the passing game to really get a guy's confidence up. This is why this team isn't good enough, because if you don't touch the ball enough and you don't make plays enough, guess what? You're not going to gain any confidence in your game. You're just going to be an onlooker sitting from the sideline watching number 17 with the ball in his hand 90% of the time, and that's who the guy you're going to expect to make every play. You can't do it. It won't work. Even if you do have guys that are good on your team, if they're not being utilized to their strengths, they'll never, ever progress. Got to get them involved. So that's something that I think that the Bills need to focus on getting their main targets involved. Joe Brady, we've been saying it all season, he does not scheme his guys open. Something he needs to step his game up on. And Sean McDermott needs to put him under fire and say, hey, listen, if we don't start seeing these necessary changes, we're going to have to move forward somewhere else. And I hope it's Brian Daboll. I really hope it's Brian Daboll. I really do. Why? Because that will bring a smile on Josh Allen's face, to see another familiar guy come back to this team, a guy that he trusts, a guy that he's won with, right? A guy that they felt they were one step away from the Super Bowl before he left. A guy that knows his personnel, right? He's going to get the best. That was Gabe Davis' best years playing with him, right? So again, something's got to change. Nobody's job is safe. And, this is going to be the same formula. So to get a dub, get the ball out, use the screen correctly, stop doing the same bubble screen. It's not working. Okay. Stop doing the wide receiver screen to Shakir. It's not working. All right. Do some quick slants, do some down and outs, do some run up and stops. Like, can we do something besides the same 7 route every time, the same deep pass every time, deep posts? Like, you don't have the speed to do that. You got 1 or 2 guys that can do that. That's it. It's not as hard as they're making it. And once those safeties drop down, Once those safeties drop down, now you can possibly get one of your guys over the top. That's just football, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about here? So that's how the Buffalo Bills are going to win it. You know, you got to control the clock. Special teams have been playing lights out the past 3 games. Big shout out to our special teams coach. He's out of all these debacles with coaching with Bobby Babbitt and Sean McDermott and Joe Brady, special teams coach has stepped up the past 2 weeks. Shout out to him. So we need him to step up too. You got to win on all 4 phases of the game if you want to win. All right. Got 10 weeks to prepare. Hopefully Buffalo can get back on track. The AFC is just got a little bit more tighter. Pittsburgh, them beating Buffalo can actually, really put them in the wild card position. So this is a real key game for them. We got Cincinnati coming up the week after, and then we got New England. We got some real crucial games, guys. Real crucial games, but we got to take it 1 week at a time. We got Pittsburgh coming up, and we better be ready to play football. We better be ready to play football because you know who they have on that defensive line. They got Watt, TJ, and he ain't playing no games. He's not playing no games. All right. All right. So he's coming. He's coming. And that defense is they still get after it. The formula going to be the same. The formula is going to be the same. And we have to be ready. We got to be ready. This roster is not a roster to win the Super Bowl. I'm not going to lie to y'all. But with coaching, and you can use what you got to get some wins. This is your boy Kulu. It's been real. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel. Cuzzo Brad will be back with us on Monday night. And, we're going to do it like we always do it. But before I get out of here, I got to give my top 5 players.
This is BEATDOWN's top 5 segment. Buffalo, get ready.
Getting hot.
You got him? Well, let's get him.
All right, this week's top 5 player, I got to give number 5 to Josh Allen. He did not have the best game, but this is show you how good Josh Allen is. Josh Allen is so good that, you look at the score, you watch that game, you feel like we got blown out. But when you look at the score, we were in this game down to the very last minute. That's how good having a quarterback like Josh Allen is, right? And pretty much all our losses has been similar to this. Go look at the games that the Buffalo Bills lost. They very seldomly get out of hand, with the exception of that Miami Dolphins game. Oh, goodness. But very seldomly do we get beat by 2 or 3 touchdowns, right? So I just think got to give Josh Allen number 5. Drop your top 5 for the Buffalo Bills who played yesterday as well. I would love to see it, and I'll post it up on up here as well. Number 4, I got to go Cole Bishop, man. Cole Bishop is doing his thing, man. He's getting better every week. He made some big tackles out there. He's continuing to come along. He's developing to a core player on this defense, one of the better players on this defense, one of the tougher guys on this defense. So shout out to Cole Bishop. Number 3. Oh man, this was ugly. Very ugly. It's hard to even pick a number 3. Offensive line was terrible. Defensive line was terrible. I'm gonna have to give it to Maxwell Harrison then. Before he got injured, he was playing sound football. He's playing sound football out there. The next guy I'm gonna have to give it to is Shaq Thompson. He continues to be a downhill tackler, making plays. And again, he's way more physical than a Matt Milano. Really like him, and he's going to be probably a full-time guy now that Bernard's headed to the IR. So, is a candidate for IR. So, look forward to seeing what he got. And then number 1's got to be James Cook. We got to feature him a lot more. When you can't get him in the run game, you got to get him in the pass game. Those are things that I think the Buffalo Bills need to do. Those are our top 5 players. And it's the recipe to win. Staying balanced. Once you become one-dimensional, it becomes we're going to tee off on your quarterback and we're going to get him. Joey says James Cook 1, Deion Walker 2, Cole Bishop, in Shaq the linebacker. Yep. And then Ray Davis. Yeah, I forgot about big play Ray. There you go. Ray Davis would have took Deion Walker's spot for me. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Forgot about big play Ray. Yeah, he should be up in there. He should probably be number 2. Yeah, he'll be number 2. And we got to get Ray Davis some more touches. We got to get this guy some more touches. So, as we see, hopefully you'll see us again Monday. Hopefully we're talking about a victory Monday and not another depressing Monday. It's just been tough being a Bills fan this year. Hopefully our guys get it together. We've been here before. 2023, we were 6-6 at the halfway mark. We were 6-6 at 12 games in. We're not there. So, and we came back. We won the division. Granted, the division wasn't as good at that time. So look, man, all is not lost. Anything can happen in the NFL. Stay focused. Stay locked in. Stay Bills Mafia. And hopefully these guys figure it out. But I'm telling you, if not, some heads gonna fly. This is Kulu, Buffalo against the world.
This is Buffalo against the world. Sports Talk with Kulu and
Cousin Brad.
Bills Mafia. It's our time.
Act like you know, baby.
Act like you know.
High, big BSF, man. Buffalo against the world, man. We take on anybody. It's the world. It's us against the Buffalo against the world. Buffalo against the world, man. Buffalo against the world. Y'all know what's going on, man. We out here. We outside, man. We outside.
Buffalo against the world.
The mafia, the fan base that adopt you. On Sundays we are not cool, any other days we're ride with you. We haven't said we're handling. We spoke to God and said thanks though. Have a cool